Hi, I'm Lynn Kissel Brown, and I'm part of the Zionsville Community Schools Strong in Every Way team. I'm here today to present some material designed to underscore the importance of having anchor adults, key adults in the lives of our teens here at Zionsville Community Schools. This presentation will also feature some of our high school students who have been trained in this webs of support material and have presented it to education students at both Butler University and the Kokomo campus of Indiana University. Thanks so much for joining us, and let's get started. Strong in Every Way is comprised of 3 domains. The webs of support material we're presenting today fits into the first domain, developing connections. The 3 domains as part of the trademarked Strong in Every Way initiative are developing connections, developing assets and resources, and developing cultural understandings. So today we're focusing mostly on developing connections. The official work presented by Derek Peterson is called Integrative Youth Development, IYD. But for this purpose today, we are calling it Webs of Support. A few years ago, Derek Peterson spent several days at Zionsville schools working with our teens. Over 400 teachers, staff, maintenance workers, bus drivers, food service workers, and administration. He also gave presentations in the Performing Arts Center for community members and our Zionsville schools adults. This material is impactful, easy to understand, it's very simple, and it just makes sense. So I'm going to condense it for you today so you get the whole message in a short amount of time. Here's the diagram showing 5 anchor adults and a web of support between them. This imaginary web of support is what holds up our youth as they move through life, make decisions, sometimes good ones, sometimes bad ones. When they are challenged, when they fail, it's important to have this web of support underneath every teen. Here you see a heart which symbolizes love. When passed through the prism of science, love becomes a rainbow. And we know it as Roy G. Biv. You can see that listed on the right side of this slide. Rule of 5 is red. Orange is for tangible strings. Yellow, intangible strings. Green, growing the balloon. Blue, scissor cuts. Indigo, caring for the carers. And violet, social norms. These are all different aspects of the web of support that holds our youth up and helps them through life. In this presentation, we're going to address each aspect that helps support a team through life as they grow and face challenges. So let's go ahead and start with red, the rule of 5. The rule of 5 basically says that 1 anchor or key adult in the life of a child is good, but 5 or more are better. The more anchor adults around a teen, and teen in this situation being a student that is 12 years old to 19 years old, is better. So the more of those types of people that are there to help a teen see farther than they can see themselves, the more that a teen has someone in their life that they wouldn't want to disappoint, the better for that child. So who can be an anchor? I'll have you look at the diagram again here below that shows the web of support. And you can see that anchors can be mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt. If you're a student that has a web of support that looks like this, you've really won the lottery. Not every student has this number of people in their life to hold them up. Think about when you were 16. Go back to your 16-year-old self. Who can you think of that was an anchor in your life? Who did you not want to disappoint when you were making decisions?
Can a teen anchor another teen?
I don't know.
Nope. Unfortunately, a anchor has to be 19 years or older. A youth cannot anchor another youth.
We know that students are influenced positively and negatively by their friends, by other teens, and can get a lot of support from those teenage friends. However, an anchor is really an adult person, so we want that person to be over 19.
There can be so many different types of anchors in your child's life, and so here are some examples of some. It could be a teacher, a counselor, a foster mom, an uncle, or another teacher in their life. It could be a bus driver, a youth leader, a parent, a aunt, and it also could be a counselor. There's so many different variations of what your kid could have as anchors, and they could be so many different ones that we might not even have spoke here.
And remember that the teen is always the one that chooses the anchor. An anchor is not a mentor or a guide. An anchor is somebody who sees farther than for the student that they can see themselves. An anchor is somebody who can see more in them and can see their future. So it's a little bit different than a mentor, which is usually an adult who is assigned to a student. This student may have a single mom, a neighbor, a club sponsor, a friend's dad, or a teacher. Those are 5 anchors, and those 5 people will help this student. Orange, tangible strings. So what are the tangible characteristics that a student can get from somebody who loves and supports him or her? A safe home, proper clothing, food, family support, a safe community, a good school. All of those things are tangible, they can be measured. And those are important also in helping a student stay on the right track and be supported as they go through life. Those anchor individuals that we mentioned before are the people that provide those tangible items for growth. Yellow, intangible strings, laughter, curiosity, compassion, integrity, a sense of humor, determination, those characteristics given that cannot be measured. Think about somebody in your past that taught you about determination or perseverance. Those were things you didn't know you were learning at the time, but you've carried them with you through your life. These people are important in the lives of teens as well. G is for growing the balloon. The balloon is really thought of as the teen, and the balloon is who this person is as they were created, whether they are optimistic naturally, if they are filled with a sense of wonder. It just depends. Everybody's a different size balloon. But if you look at the graph below with the 5 anchors and the lines in between, imagine that balloon is going to rest on that web of support. And by giving the intangible strings, the laughter and curiosity, and the tangible strings, the safe home, the proper clothing and food, we can keep a child on top of that web. Sometimes in the life of a child, something happens that's completely out of their control. This is what we would call a sinker. If you put a fishing sinker inside a balloon and try to bounce it around, it goes all over the place. It's very unpredictable. A sinker in the life of a child or a teen is something that's happened, such as the death of a close family member, a move across the country to a new school, a parent with a substance abuse issue, really anything that is damaging or difficult for a child which they cannot control. Remember that there are teens walking around with sinkers, and we don't know who they are. The idea is that with enough anchor adults in a teen's life, the teen will learn to manage that sinker and also grow a life beyond that incident so that their life becomes bigger. That sinker never goes away, that memory never goes away, but they become larger and they have a bigger life. So growing the balloon is very important.
For me, when I was in 8th grade, I had a religion teacher, and he unfortunately committed suicide. This was really, really difficult for me to get through and process, and it is a sinker for me. It threw me off balance. It made me kind of unstable, which is what those sinkers do to us. Over time, as we grow and become a bigger balloon, we can get past these things, but they will always be there, and they always remain with us. Next,
we'll move on to blue for scissor cuts. Scissor cuts are decisions that a teen might make that damage the web of support. So possibly not telling the truth, or skipping class, or making a poor decision relating to alcohol, or something like that. Scissor cuts can be repaired. It just takes some work on the part of the teen and the anchor together. So scissor cuts can always be repaired, but they can weaken that web of support. What I want everyone to know is that you can never know what's inside someone else's mind or heart. You can only do the best that you can do. Indigo is caring for the carers. This is really important for a teen to know as they're looking for those anchor adults in their lives. It's important to know that the anchors that you choose as a teen are also supported. Many times teens have an adult in their life who needs support, who doesn't have it. And so that adult is not able to care for the teen in the way that the child needs. So it's important that this teen looks for those people who have a strong support of their own. And as adults, as we go through life, it's just as important for us to maintain those webs of support for ourselves as it is for our teens to learn to build their web of support. If you think about older adults, how they move through life and eventually start to lose people that are close to them, older adults, senior citizens, webs of support get thinner and thinner and thinner as they get older. So it's very important to learn this lifelong lesson so that no matter the stage in life, you're always looking for those people to be your anchors. The last slide is violet, and it's for social norms. If you think of social norms as being the wind that blows across the web, that's a great way to kind of visualize what this slide is about. Social norms are just what's normal for your community. The economy, is it a safe community? Are people interested in education? Do most people have a home to go to? What kind of a community do you live in? What are the challenges that your child is facing based on the social norms of your community? Some social norms can be a strong wind that blows a child off course, and some social norms are so positive they will hold a child securely on top of that web. As we get to the end of the presentation, think back about the very first slide, the rule of 5. It's so important for teens to have 5 anchor adults in their life, to hold them on that web with the tangible and intangible strings, to help them grow their balloons, to help them repair scissor cuts, and to help care for the carers in the community and those that they know. It's also really important to be aware of the social norms that you may have to balance and that may affect the student that you care about. So the biggest takeaway from this presentation is read the rule of 5. 5 or more adults in the life of a child is important. Keeping in mind that if a child has 1 or 0, that's okay. You can always start with 1 and build from there. Here's everything laid out again one more time. The rule of 5, tangible strings, intangible strings, growing the balloon, scissor cuts, caring for the carers, and social norms. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation about the webs of support, and I hope you'll begin looking for your own anchors and seeing yourself as a possible anchor for a teen in your life. Thank you.